For our invocation and Toastmasters Promise, let us call Toastmaster Lit Mabayan.
Good evening, everyone. Shall we come to the Lord in prayer? Almighty God, we come before you. Equinox or not, you remain to be the King of the universe, and we adore you, our Creator. Thank you for the many blessings that we have, the peace, protection, and provision from you. Tonight, we thank you particularly for the gift of Toastmastering. We grow here. We learn here. We stay here, always grateful for changing us little by little, honing our talents, making us better people in this world where you placed us. Let us all be Toastmasters with a purpose. Yes, Lord, we will conquer with a purpose, conquering our fears so we can move forward until we can all say, united, we achieve, all for the glory of your name. This is our prayer in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Let us all declare from the heart our Toastmasters promise. Together we do it. Let's raise our right hand and all together we recite. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education and recognition programs, to act within Toastmasters' core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lit. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends, as well as to our guests from Bataan Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Arthur from Baguio Eco Zone Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster VJ, and from Singapore, Toastmaster Phoenix. And we have a guest, Miss Remy Banzuelo. Good evening. Thank you for attending our meeting tonight. And I am glad because we will have another exciting meeting as we will discover something outside our houses or something we are picking in the window because we wanted to discover what equinox is. And our meeting this for today will be facilitated by an author of the book How to be a World-Class Filipino Professional. How to be a world-class millennial professional. And if you want to get some tips about finances or love life, he is your go-to person. Just visit his page, FNR or Finance and Romance for Pinoy Millennials on Facebook. And he is now a podcaster. Just listen to his podcast on FNR or Finance and Romance on Pinoy Millennials on Spotify. Fellow Toastmasters and friends, let us welcome our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Mark Edrada.
Wow! Thank you for that wonderful introduction to President Sedi. And I'm glad I didn't expect it. I was surprised. And fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Evening,
Evening.
morning, and live right now. Hello, everyone. Now, before we start with Toastmasters meeting, let me give you some activity. All right. Can you now see the screen? All right. So go get your mobile phones, your tablets, or your laptop and go to www.menti.com and type the code 6357706 or just scan the QR code that you are seeing right now on screen. And the question for that Mentimeter is, what comes to your mind when you hear the word equinox? Just type in your answers. So go to menti.com and use the code 6357706. It's 6357706. And let's see the results. All right. So equal, day and night, phenomenon, earth science, balance, come on down. Any words that comes into your mind? September, the word is big on equal. So many of you has typed on equal. Autumn. All right. So day and night, equal, autumn, phenomenon, balance, earth science, September, sun. All right. So now we know what equinox is. We have an idea of what equinox is. So, all right. To intersect, we have earth, creation. September. All right. So now let's pause for a while. Thank you for your inputs. Now, so equinox. Equinox, equal, equi. So it means equal because equinox is a time when night and day are of equal are of approximately equal in length all over the earth. Now, to proceed with our word of the night, let us call here on the room our language evaluator, aka grammarian, Toastmaster Mar Libiran.
Yes, words. Can it be words of the night?
Yes.
I have two words that I would like to bring to the attention of the body, and of course, those who want to make the most out of time. The first one is related to um, equinox, meaning it's also starting with equanimity. Equanimity is just being level-headed. It's just a it's just a poise or a composure that is evenness, equanimity, or peace, tranquility. All of these things are just um, synonyms of each other. Equanimity, it's when you reach the state by which you are able to uh, have a complete peace, or everything seems to be in an equilibrium or a peaceful state without anything that is bothering you. It's complete serenity of mind. That's equanimity. The second, yes, the second word I like to bring about maybe could be useful to you. In fact, I believe even in sales, like those who are involved in sales, that is a very important word to learn. The second is TIDL, TIDDLE, to diddle, because sometimes you are escapist, and we try to avoid unpleasant, difficult tasks. That's why we try to settle for those that are inconsequential. So Tidal is sort of escapism, or when you busy yourself with insignificant task. That's the second word of the night. Tiddle, Tiddle, to busy oneself with inconsequential task. Okay.
All right. Thank you for that, Toastmaster Mar. So we have two words of the night, Tidal and equanimity. I challenge you, Toastmaster Mar, give we challenge everyone to use those words of the night. And can you please judge as to who will give the best sentence or sentences using those words of the night, and we will give them a surprise. Will
Yes.
that be good?
Yeah.
Will that be cool? All right.
Yes.
So I challenge everyone to use the word is September 22 and today is autumnal equinox, and it signifies that this marks autumn already. But now let's start with our program proper. Let's attain equinox tonight. Equal fun and learning throughout the meeting. So to proceed with our educational talk, our presenter is a champion evaluator. He competed in the district level and bagged the prize. He is a lawyer by profession and a leader by passion. So, without further ado, let us all welcome our very own Toastmaster Ruben Acevedo II.
It's already that time of year when I always give my all to the office to hopefully wrap up all work before Christmas Day. What kept me sane every work night was looking forward to playing Sat to the Kids and singing this song. I'll be home for Christmas. This year, though, with all that we in our communities have lost, livelihood, loved ones, our lives as we knew it, I asked myself, how do we celebrate Christmas? Then I recalled the Christmas when Super Typhoon Yolanda and the callous government dealt late in summer unimaginable tragedy. I recalled how I quieted my grief, my anger, with equanimity by checking on a colleague from Tacloban, helping donation efforts, and volunteering at Villamor Air Base by transporting survivors to their relatives' homes here in Bulacan. So, how do we celebrate Christmas? Now as then, we can choose to celebrate Christmas meaningfully. Like a lot of people in this pandemic, we can take care of our friends and others in need by gifting them with kindness. As Toastmasters, how do we do that? Friends, I give you the TCGC. TCGC is a Toastmasters Club gift certificate, which I also like to call the Take Care GC. As Toastmasters, I propose that we give free 10 minutes of personal online coaching on public speaking this Christmas season from September to December. Each of us could give this GC shown on the slide as a Christmas gift. Now, who do we give this to? We can give this to our friends, office mates and families. If you're a business, then you can give them to loyal clients, customers, business partners like suppliers, or anyone else you'd like to thank instead of or with the usual Christmas tokens. The club could give it to guests in meetings, whether they're Toastmasters or not. The special features of the TCGC are, first, we would do everything online. We will gift the digital GC by email or messaging app with this message. As a token of my appreciation, kindly accept this gift certificate. You'd see the gift certificate, there's a code, and then we'll ask the person to click on the image to go to the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club Facebook page, send a message to the club with the above code to schedule the coaching. I actually received something like this from the BPI Toastmasters Club after evaluating a speech at their meeting. So here's the email I got. They sent me this thank you email containing an e-voucher. When I clicked the e-voucher link in the email message, I was shown this 300 peso card for use at the coffee bean and tea leaf shops. Now, I don't even like CBTL, but I excitedly went to the CBTL branch at Petron and Lex Marilao and got myself a free cold chocolate mocha. I was really grateful for their kind and generous gesture. So I'm sure anyone who gets our Christmas TCGC would be just as ecstatic. We would do everything online. We would hold virtual coaching by chat or video call, so we'll be safe from COVID-19. Now, the TCGC is similar to the Toastmasters International GC, except one, the TCGC will cost us nothing. It won't cost the club or anyone a single cent, which is just perfect when a lot of us are saving more money than ever due to the economic recession. So I hope the club treasurer, Jamie, would be happy with this financially feasible project. On the other hand, Toastmasters International GC costs $5, $10, $25 each. They can be used to buy items like ball pens or pins from the TMI store. Second difference is that if a TCGC beneficiary requests coaching, then we can give it within 1 day of receiving the request. On the other hand, if you buy from the TMI store using a TMI GC, TMI can take months to deliver. I haven't even received the TMI pencils that SEDI supposedly ordered last May 18. It's been months. Now, the other features of the GC are, as with all special and personal gifts that we give to our friends and family, we would give this GC to just one special person each time, not directly to the public. How does this TCGC coaching differ from Toastmasters educational talks or speechcraft, where the important difference is our coaching is one-on-one or personalized. The beneficiary won't be a passive, anonymous audience member in a mass lecture. We will address the recipient's specific need, how to be effective in online meetings, how to handle a job interview, how to project better on YouTube, by giving them 1 to 2 tips and answering questions. We can coach in English or Tagalog, and we will personally invite the recipient to the next club meeting to learn more and get another GC. This is how I imagine the 10 minutes of coaching would proceed. So there's 1 minute of introduction, 7 minutes of Q&A or coaching. We could even ask the recipient to, speak a little bit like they would in the table topics, and would give a short evaluation. And then we'd summarize in 2 minutes and invite the beneficiary to our next club meeting. The TCGC is transferable. If the beneficiary doesn't use it, she could re-gift it to someone else. This way, the beneficiaries can pay our kindness forward. Tell me, what could be better than giving a gift without spending? The most important feature is that anyone who receives the GC without knowing what Toastmasters is or what Meycauayan Toastmasters Club is will nonetheless assume that Toastmasters is 1, a good thing, 2, has a good value, and 3, symbolizes goodwill, simply because the club's name is on a GC. There are GC or Growth Club benefits. First one is public relations. Now, even if no one uses the GC, its distribution would grow awareness and spread the love and goodwill of the club. So I hope this out-of-the-box PR strategy for a Toastmasters Club anyway gets VP Mark's vote. As you may all know, giving out freebies or discounts via exclusive partner channels is one marketing strategy that stores, restaurants, hotels, hospitals, etc. on one hand, and credit card companies on the other hand, use together. With the TCGC, our club would essentially act as both a credit card company and partner businesses in marketing our activity. We can also appreciate the importance of being able to quantify goals and performance. If we send out 20 GCs per month, we'd get at least 60 more fresh hits on the club's FB page. If the GCs are all regifted once, then the fresh visits could multiply to 120 by Christmas Day. Second benefit, we can grow our recruitment. If we release 20 GCs per month from September to December, for a total of 60, and if only 1 out of 5 recipients avail of the coaching, we'd still get a pool of 12 we could invite and recruit. We only need to get 4 new members for President's Distinguished Points. We can grow each member's work, business, and personal relationships that may have been weakened or been lost to the pandemic. So I hope this gets VPGV's vote. Also, we can grow our speaking skills outside of club meetings beyond the 2 or 7-minute speech formats, which is what growth mindset is all about. So I hope this gets VP Rice's vote. Most importantly, we can grow the communities in which our club belongs. This gives us an opportunity to show the club's compassion for the community of Meycauayan, of Marilao, of Bulacan, of our country, of Filipinos around the world, even when they need it most, which is this Christmas season. Friends, God has blessed this club with a collective talent for coaching. It's what you, our club, are good at. Shouldn't we share this blessing? Coach others in our community to better their lives. Use a talent for good. After all, if you can coach a newbie like me into a podium win at a district contest in such a short time, you can surely coach someone in 10 minutes. Think about it. Instead of adjusting to a new normal, how about we create a new normal that's marked by kindness and compassion? And when we do, we grow our hearts as well. So friends, I hope we do this TCGC project this year. We Meycauayan Toastmasters can look forward to playing Santa from home, taking time to be kind to one and all. Let's sing this together, guys. It's the time of year when good friends are near, and you wish you could give more than just presents from us. So why don't you give love? Looks like I need more practice for Christmas caroling on Zoom. But that wraps up my presentation. I'm ready to take questions now about the TCGC project, especially on the special benefits and features I discussed in my presentation.
Hi, good evening, Tim Ruben. Can I see the prototype again? You displayed a prototype, right? Of the GC.
Yeah. Here you go. If there's any part of my presentation earlier that you missed because of weak internet connection, please let me know because I didn't know.
Yes, miss the first part because my internet is uncooperative tonight. Am I coming out clear or choppy?
You're clear, Rose.
Here.
Thank
the
you.
important part started with me showing this TCGC.
Will you send this to the group chat, the presentation? Oh, I'm sorry. Could you send it
Via
to the email group
Yes,
for
I could
the
certainly
club
do that.
so we can take a look?
Email it to the group, sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Ruben,
Yes, Tita Kat.
will this be like an ongoing TCGC throughout the year?
I imagine this only for the Christmas season, Tita Kat.
Yes, my comment is because so that means this will end by like November because we don't usually meet during December.
Oh, but well, it's up to the club, I suppose, Tita, on the period. I just thought that we could do this throughout the Christmas season.
Okay. Yeah, but I was thinking this could be a good, an ongoing thing for us, even after Christmas. Okay, just that comment.
Really, this will be beneficial indeed to the image of the club, to the recruitment, and indeed it will encourage more people to attend, new members or guests to our club meetings. Congratulations, Toastmaster Ruben, and
Yeah, we can give it
indeed
to the
enjoy
inbound inquiries that we get on Facebook.
Yep. Actually, I'm thinking that we can indeed give our Facebook inquiries with this gift certificate, and they can meet member for 10 minutes, then they will be invited to the future meeting. Nice.
Yes, if you have guests who are just from other clubs who are starting and who will need coaching, I think this is very beneficial. And it's a it's an innovative idea as well, Ruben.
Well, let me know if my time is up. But please feel free to send me questions, email me, or Viber me if ever after this session. I'd be happy to answer those questions. And of course, I leave this project to the XCOM to consider on how exactly to implement this. If you want a different design for the GC, then yes, please do consider redesigning it entirely if you want. But I thought that it would be great to be clear whatever it is that we want to do in the GC itself. It will be free. 10 minutes of coaching will be free. Okay.
Ben, are you a graduate of law or marketing?
Maybe both.
Good. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Toastmaster.
All right. So why don't you give love on Christmas Day? Thank you for that, Toastmaster Ruben. And I surely believe that that will be a success. I love the idea. I love the idea of giving gifts like that. It's priceless. It's priceless. And what I love about that is that Toastmaster Ruben, you always make us think. I love your compelling ideas. Thank you for that wonderful idea. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. And hope to hear you some other time regarding new ideas, fresh and ideas coming from you. Now, let's proceed with the next section of our program, the table topic session. The table topic session will be delivered by our vibrant, jolly, and cheerful president of Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, a man who values equality. To present the table topic session, let's give it up to President Sedi Cortez.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mark. Good evening once again, fellow Toastmasters and friends. Table for the benefit of our guest, Table Topics is intended to help members develop their ability to organize their thoughts quickly and respond to an impromptu question or topic. Impromptu speech is something scary for some, but it is one of the rewarding portions of this meeting because it will really help you hone your communication skills. And impromptu speech is to be delivered in 1 to 2 minutes. If your table topic speech turns green, it means you are 1 minute. If if it turns yellow, 1 minute and 30 seconds. And if it turns red, it means that you are on your 2 minute mark. And we have a leeway of 30 seconds. Are you ready, fellow Toastmasters, for our table topics tonight?
Yes.
Okay, let me screen my share. For our today's table topic, if we are going to think about equinox, I have 4 words. It's focus, boundaries, balance, and change. So first, let's move on focus. And our quote for this is focus on what matters by Anonymous. Again, focus on what matters by Anonymous. And I would like to hear this from Toastmaster Lit. Toastmaster Lit.
Hello, when you called my name, suddenly you caught my attention, and now I am focused to deliver on this particular quotation by Anonymous. Focus on what matters. You know, fellow Toastmasters and friends, we are so busy every day. And let's admit it, sometimes we just lose our focus because we are too preoccupied with so many things. And that is the reason why every now and then we experience setbacks. But I remember a quotation by Joel Austin. He said that a setback, as a setback is a setup for a comeback. So that is really very encouraging because we are given a chance to refocus. So we have to grab that moment when we are given the chance to refocus. We will have to say to ourselves, this time I will really focus on the things that really matter. So I can just keep going and going. You know, there was a time, as an illustration or example, I would like to share that for 4 years, I stopped attending Toastmasters meeting, right? That is the time when I was raising up my apos, my grandchildren. I really did not attend for 4 years. And mind you, I really lost my focus. But when my grandchildren are now grown-ups, I came back again. I'm here again in our meetings, and I really am focusing on things that really matter. And Toastmasters is really the top of my list. Back to the Toastmaster for the table topics master, I mean.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Indeed, a setback is a setup for comeback. Very insightful. Next word is next word is boundaries. Well, since equinox is an means there is an equal day and night, I think there is a boundaries wherein if the day will be going to exceed the hours and he knew his boundaries, he will not go or he will not interfere with the night because he has boundaries. And for our quote for the or our question for the day, I want to get a tip from a Toastmaster, from Toastmaster Phoenix. Toastmaster Phoenix, here is my question for you. How to say no without feeling guilty? Again, how to say no without feeling guilty?
First of all, before
Okay,
you would like to
okay.
ask me, it's a
Here's the
really good
question.
thanks. Mm. Wow.
Yes, you may proceed, Toastmaster Phoenix.
Steady. I'm ready, timekeeper. Mm. Saying no without feeling guilty. It really makes me think of a situation. I really wanted to say no because I didn't need any help. In the end, I felt guilty because I was simply unable to accept any help. Maybe I didn't think twice about the answer. It made me feel guilty because I was really at a time when I'm simply not ready to tell anyone that I needed help. And yet in Singapore, one common value we have to deal with is self-reliance. Self-reliance is you have to stand up for yourself no matter what happens to you. You even have to be the one relying on your own values to find and do whatever things you want to do. So saying no and feeling guilty in the end is a really common feeling inside me. How I'm gonna change it? I would have asked questions on how it's all right to ask for help, or I could have asked for a wise person for advice because I feel these communication issues can be the reason why I may not be able to say no or yes in a confident manner. So that's why if you really think you can't say no and yet you think that you are really guilty of saying no, please think twice about your response before making the appropriate response. Back to Table Time Master Day.
Yes, thank you so much, Toastmaster Phoenix. Well done. Next word is balance. And the and the quote for that is from Hillary Clinton. Don't confuse having a career with having a life. Again, don't confuse having a career with having a life. Toastmaster Mar. Okay, sorry, I didn't share the screen again. So here is the quote for Toastmaster Mar. Don't confuse having a career with having a life. Again, don't confuse having a career with having a life. Toastmaster Mar.
Yes, it's interesting. We have always come to different self-help books, and what they say in self-help books, but work-life balance. I guess you are familiar with those terms. Work-life balance, as emphasized by John Maxwell, and other motivational speakers. Now, certainly you cannot confuse work or career with life, because it is also often suggested you make a living is different from making a living. Okay? Or make life instead of just making a living. Well, it is important for us because life is a cycle also of effort and rest. It's certainly that balance that makes it, when you work, and the intervening period must be used for sharpening the saw, as proposed by Stephen, as proposed in the 7 habits of effective executives by Stephen Covey. These are the things that really stuck to my mind. That is why there is a difference between career and life, between living and life. We can always find it in everything that we do. There is an optimal point wherein productivity is diminishing, and there is a point by which potential is not reached. So we should try to find the right balance and the right time when to say enough and when to pause for a while. That, to you, table topics master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mar. Indeed, balance rest really helps us to achieve work-life balance. Thank you for that insight, Toastmaster Mar. And for our final word, which is change. From Walter Bruning, from Walter Bruning, he said that embrace change even when the change slaps you in the face. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Again, embrace change even when the change slaps you in the face. I would like to hear this. I see him smiling. Toastmaster Rai. How does it feel slapping someone in your face?
We often hear people saying that change is inevitable. The only thing that is constant in this world is change. I learned this lesson recently with our experience with my father. First, when he was diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, he was really hesitant to undergo dialysis because he doesn't want to change, because he cannot accept change that he is sick, the reality that he is already sick. And after that, when he started to accept the fact that he is sick, and then he underwent dialysis treatment, now it started to sink into him that his 3 time session in a week is will become a part of his lifestyle. And recently, I observed that he is somewhat relaxed and accepting that dialysis will be part of his routine. And the good thing about this is that what I learned is that it will take us time to accept change in life. But after we analyze and then we realize the things that we need to do to become a healthier person, a wealthier person, or perhaps a better person, just beyond being a better person, we need to assess and we need to slap our face and to face that reality. And I just want to share with you that recently is now under, we are now processing his documents and his medical testing for he will be scheduled for the next few weeks or months from now to undergo kidney transplant. So what we need, I believe, to fellow Toastmaster, for us to become healthier, a better person, we need to accept the changes that is happening to us on a day-to-day, weekly, monthly, or yearly basis. Thank you. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rai. Indeed, facing the reality is the key for a change. And that concludes my table topic session for tonight. And congratulations to our brave souls who delivered their table topics speech well. And before I end, let me remind you, fellow Toastmasters and friends, that despite that we are in any kind of or despite we are in any kind of harsh situations in our life, let us focus on what truly matters so we know our boundaries. And let us learn how to balance what are the things that we allowed in our life. Because one day we will wake up, we created a positive change. Good evening. Back to you, Toastmaster Mark.
Thank you for that wonderful conclusion, Toastmaster Sedi. Yes, let's focus on what is positive, focus on the true, the good, and the beautiful, as what somebody has said. And before we proceed with our prepared speeches, let's have another activity, the Menti activity. So let's go again to menti.com and type the code 9404843 or scan the QR code. It's 9404843. And let's have the voting here. Which table topic speech inspired you the most? Is it Leeds, Phoenixes, Mars, or Rise? Your vote will be treated anonymously. So this just for fun. Okay. Okay, last 30 seconds. Last 30 seconds. And yes, the tabletop, the one who get the highest vote will be having a surprise from yours truly. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. And the fourth placer is Phoenix, third is Mar, second is Lit, and first is Rai. Congratulations, Toastmaster Rai. And you'll be having a surprise from me after the program. Now, let's continue with our program. Let's proceed with our prepared speeches. So, prepared speeches are the brain of the entire meeting. It promotes mental equanimity because it relaxes our mind from all our stresses in life as we hear from our prepared speakers. We will be hearing their ideas, their messages, and their experiences. So let's proceed with our first speaker. Our first speaker is our, our first speaker will address topic selection, strategies, suggestions for research, and methods for producing a well-organized speech. Her speech project is a level 1.3, the research presentation. The purpose of her speech is to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. The time is 5 to 7 minutes, and her evaluator is Advanced Communicator Silver, Advanced Leader Bronze, Marinor de Guzman. The title of her speech is Game On. Our speaker is a blossoming flower and now a rebel because of her new haircut. She is always in the zone and she is the well-deserving area director of Area 63. To present her speech, Game On, entitled Game On, let us welcome Area Director, Toastmaster, Rose Pagia.
Good evening, everyone. Before I start, I'm going to ask everyone to turn on their cameras later in the later part of the speech, if it's okay with you, all right?
All right.
Okay. Ready. Where do you find inspiration nowadays? Probably half of the inspiration that I get is from watching Netflix. I was watching a documentary in passing with my son. It's about the video gaming industry. When suddenly, I did a double take. What did he say? He explained on how they keep the players playing. Inspiration for a speech? Check. So for some of you who don't know, I play a few video games. And here is us playing video games. This is one of our family bonding activities. This is my husband. That's me. That's my 15-year-old girl. And that's my 10-year-old boy. So needless to say, I am the weakest link. And it may not be the best parenting example, but sometimes we play up to the very late in the evening. As it turns out, games are programmed to get us glued to them so that we lose track of time. So it's not entirely bad parenting. Woo! Fellow Toastmasters, I introduce to you the flow theory. It is a mental state in which a person performing some activity is fully immersed in a feeling of energized focus, full involvement, and enjoyment in the process, right? So I'm sure some of us have experienced this, if not all. Say Toastmaster Christine while she's playing tennis, or maybe Toastmaster Juliet while she's painting, or maybe Toastmaster Ruben and Toastmaster Lip while they are delivering their contest winning speeches. All right. So this theory was coined by this guy. He's a Hungarian American psychologist post World War II. His name is Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. So his name in itself is a challenge to pronounce. I can invite everyone. Can you try to pronounce his name? It's pronounced that way. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. You can try that on your own. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, right? So I learned about him through his TED Talk, like on the screen, and I'm going to share it on the chat. There you go. If you want to learn more about him. And the flow theory, we can show it this way. This is a diagram. And how about we do a check? Okay, how are you feeling tonight? Are you feeling anxious? This would probably mean that you may want to develop your skills more because the challenges are high. I'm talking about the table topics earlier. Maybe some of you were excited. This means you felt that the table topic questions were a bit easier for you and that you can do it. So this is the flow stage up on the where the challenge is high and the skill level is high. So we want to get into that flow state where we are both challenged and our skills match that challenge, or we have leveled up to the challenge. Okay, I will share some tips in a bit, but there are 3 conditions on how to get into the flow state. Let me show you that. So here are the 3 conditions. One must be involved in an activity with a clear set goals and progress, like beating a high score in a game or beating your opponent in badminton or chess. Number 2, the task at hand must have a clear and immediate feedback. This is different from our evaluations in Toastmasters. This is something when you're painting and the colors match and the colors blend. That's a good feedback from you. For you, I mean. And the third one is one must have a good balance between the perceived challenge of the task at hand and your own perceived skill. So you should be both confident and challenged while doing the task. Right? So those are the 3 conditions that we need to meet for us to be in the state of flow. So this is an interesting theory. Don't you agree? Thumbs up if you do. You can use the reaction button or just yes in your video. Thank you. So this theory can be applied not just in games or sports. We can use this in education and in work as well. Imagine if we could keep our students and co-workers engaged. Knowing about this theory can help us optimize our skills. Not only can we get things done, but we are more present and happy while we are in the process. So the tips, here they are. There are a lot of tips for us to get into the flow state, but this is the friendliest version that I could see in the web. So there you go. Find a challenge, number 1, and choose something that you enjoy doing. Number 2, develop your skills in order to be able to meet that challenge. So this means if you're finding table topics a challenge, practice, and volunteer. And number 3, set clear goals. Number 4, completely focus on the task at hand. This just means eliminate all other distractions. It's quite obvious. You put down your phone for a while and be out of social media for a while. And the next tip is that make sure you've set sufficient time. So hang on. So when you're in the flow state, actually, you don't feel time. Time feels like it's melting away. So you do have to set a time just in case you get into that flow state, because you won't notice that the time has passed you by and you're enjoying what you're doing while you're at it. And the last one, monitor your emotional state. If you're getting bored, the challenge is not really that challenging for you. You need to find, or if you're anxious, you need to practice more. So we do need to check how we're feeling while we are doing the activity. All right. So if you want to take a screenshot of the tips, it's fine. Snap, snap. Awesome. Hi, Toastmasters Eddie. So this seems doable, right? So I would like to invite everyone next time that they do their speech project to try and eliminate the distractions and follow these tips. I do remember thinking to myself, and this is my truth for Toastmasters, Toastmaster meetings are my highly stressful downtime. I mean, I enjoy going to Toastmasters meeting, but it's stressful. Yes, especially in table topics, and if I'm an evaluator or if I have a role, especially the general evaluator, those are the most challenging roles for me. So the flow theory actually stemmed from the author Csikszentmihalyi's search for happiness, or his understanding of it. To put it in a nutshell, a person can be at his happiest while he is fulfilling his purpose. So if you want to find the next inspiration, if you want to find your next inspiration, you could try getting yourself a Netflix account or a PlayStation console, or you could try putting your game face on. So this is when I ask everyone to put their game face on. Turn on your cameras, game face on. Let's do this. Game face on. 1, 2. Perfect. Awesome. So put your game face on. Get a new challenge to grow on. Toastmaster.
All right. Thank you for that, Toastmaster Rose. And let's be in a flow state. Now, our next speaker. Let's proceed with our next speaker. The focus of our next speaker's speech is to design and complete a project with well-defined goals, lead a team, and be accountable to a guidance committee. The purpose of this project is to apply your leadership and planning knowledge to develop a project plan, organize a guidance committee, and implement your plan with the help of a team. His speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and he will be evaluated by past international director, distinguished Toastmaster, Christine Temblique. And his speech is entitled Believe, with BAELIVE, Believe. Our next speaker, regarding our next speaker is a newbie, yet a veteran. Combine them, and there he is. Let us all welcome our speaker number 2, Toastmaster Rubens Acevedo II.
Lift your head, baby, don't be scared of the things that could go wrong along the way. You get by with a smile. You can wait on everything, but you can try. Hello to everyone here tonight at the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. Welcome to Bay Acoustics Live. You're all looking great tonight, guys. Does anyone know that song? It's the song With a Smile from, of course, the band Eraserheads. I'm Ruben, the leader and frontman of the local band Bay. I'm what you call a homegrown talent, but I know better than to quit my day job, of course. For those of you who know how much I dislike leading anything, any group, Well, I'm a change man. I'll talk about it later. We just released a demo for a new single, BAE, easy as 1, 2, 3. And I heard it topped the Meycauayan music top charts last week. So thank you for supporting your local artists. Now, Bay, as you know, is our new quick and easy sign-up process for speeches and other roles for our club. It's automated, it's centralized, it's online, it's on demand 24/7. It's my project for the Toastmasters High Performance Leadership Project, or HPL in Pathways. Now, HPL doesn't really require that you make a project that's related or involving Toastmasters, but I wanted to give a little thank you to you guys for supporting me at the district evaluation contest. Now, you might be wondering where I found my inspiration for BAE. Well, Bay's origin story began when I signed up on the website of Baguio Ecozone Toastmasters Club to give my TCGC project speech, actually. I just clicked and typed in a few details and I was done. It was a mind-blowing experience. Now, Bay has fulfilled my vision of empowering every Toastmaster in 1 to 3 clicks. Every means including those of us who are technologically challenged. And we've done it. As you may have seen from the Bay demo, which I posted on the chat, if you want to sign up for a prepared speech, you just need 2 clicks and type a title. If you want to sign to evaluate or take another meeting role, you just need 1 click. Bay is our band's way of giving you all, our club, at least one reason to smile in these trying times. Of course, Bay wouldn't be possible and I wouldn't be a leader if I didn't find others who shared and worked hard to realize our vision. As the Eraserheads sang in the song Alapak, I asked almost every one of you, gusto ba sama? Say hello to my bandmates, our resident painter, Juliet, who sang and danced the demo for our first single, BAE. Our Rice is Life guru, GV, who's not here. And our master persuader, Mar. Mar got us the deal with Said Rai Records. They told us that with the EQUINOX signaling a new normal, they will be available for streaming on Spotify in time for your first October meeting. We also have our managers, our so-called guidance committee. Now, these are the people who believe that I should, 1, lead to touch other people's lives, 2, lead to improve the status quo, and 3, lead to realize Bay's vision because they believe in the project more than I did. So shout out to Toastmaster Marinor, who's my mentor, Tita Lit, our cheerleader, Mark, who taught us the software development lifecycle because Bay is basically a software, and VJ, who started it all, is the Baguio Ecozone Toastmaster president. VJ, thank you for joining us tonight. Now, I don't like leading at all. If there's anything that I've learned from leading teams or organizations, it's that it's hard, it's unforgiving. The truth is, leadership is painful, it's costly, and often thankless. But in doing this HPL project, leadership doesn't have to be this way. And I learned 3 lessons. First one, surround yourself with leaders. Leaders turn out to be good team players. They have a unique understanding of what it takes to implement and do anything in a group. They will follow you, follow a leader because they know they are leaders themselves and they want to be followed if it were their turn. And this I saw from how Juliet and the rest of my guidance committee actively push this project forward. My guidance committee are all leaders. I didn't recruit them for their leadership, actually. I just recruited them for being experienced Toastmasters and, well, IT people. And of course, VJ, who started it all at Baguio Ecozone. But I realized, I wondered why they were always present during our guidance committee meetings. And I also wondered why Juliet, who just happens to be the busiest person, being a vice president of the company, found the time to actively push this project to success. And I thought, there's something in common about these people. And these are people who are leaders themselves. And it's only now that I realize why companies actually hire people who have leadership skills. I always wondered why they did, because not everyone gets the chance to lead. Turns out, people with leadership skills know how to make projects succeed by being good team players. Second, ask from others what they already want. Effective leadership requires motivating others based on their personal desires. As Dwight Eisenhower eloquently said, leadership is the art of getting someone to do something you want done because she wants to do it. And I realized this when I worked with Mar and Juliet. Despite Juliet's busy schedule, she found a time to redesign the color scheme of Bay during working hours. She also turned around on the video quickly. I was actually shocked that she turned around so quickly. And even after telling me that I was so demanding about the video, by the way, Juliet, that's the first time anyone called me demanding. But she nonetheless produced the video, a revised video in such a short time. Why? Because she is a talented painter, a creative person, and she found expression and she saw the fulfillment of her desires in doing those particular activities of color scheming and doing a demo. And that's true for Mar too. Mar, whose passion for this project rose up the moment I asked him that, Mar, you have to lead the persuading effort for Sedi and Rai tomorrow at Expo meeting. And Mar immediately responded, and he successfully did. Got this project set for October implementation. Why? Because Mar is passionate about persuasion. That's how I knew that the trick to motivating people, especially volunteers, is to ask them to do what they already want. 3, most important, and that's why I'm a change man, because I realized that leaders are actually rock stars. No, I realized that there's something actually awesome about orchestrating the dynamics between yourself and people like my bandmates who are willing to give their talent and skills, people like my band managers who are willing to dedicate their time, their skills and experience for us, and to do everything for fans like you so that we could create beautiful music and give everyone at least a reason to smile. That's what I learned from this project. That's why I am Change Man, and that's why I could become a leader anytime from now on. My last song is what made Eraserheads international stars. Does anyone know this song? No?
Magasin.
No?
El Bimbo. No, El Bimbo.
El Bimbo, that's right, Rose. It's Huling El Bimbo. And I dedicate this to the stars here tonight, to all the past, the present, the future Toastmaster leaders. You rock! Magkahawak ang ating kamay at walang kamalay-malay na tinuruan mo ang puso ko na umibig ng tunay. La 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 la. Salamat, Meycauayan! Thank you, Toastmaster.
Wow! Wonderful! Thank you for that, Toastmaster Ruben. And you know what? Just trivia, ang Huling El Bimbo is the best musical play that I have watched. I watched it last year, March 30, 2019, and I was with that play, and I was on with your speech, including that play, or including that song, including those songs from Eraserheads. It became musical, your speech became musical, and yes, you're a Bay, Ruben Acevedo. Now, let's go on our next part of the program, the evaluation phase, the evaluation portion. Our evaluation portion will be headed by our very own, of course, very own manager or vice president from a company. And when I see this person, when I see this lady, I was awed by her intelligence. I was amazed by her artistry. If you can see the background, her background, That is her painting. And now, I am astounded by her performance as an endorser of Bay. So let's welcome BAE as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now let's all welcome Toastmaster, our general evaluator, Juliet Kabatingan.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. You know, here at Toastmaster, we just don't bring out the best in us about public speaking or being a leader. It also brings out a different side of us, like talents. Meron pala tayong singer. We have a singer here, a lawyer, a singer, a marketer. Ngayon lang, I just discovered it tonight. And I did sing too. I was forced to sing that BAE 1, 2, 3 with my busy schedule, with budgeting and everything. We have restructuring, we have professionalization program, but yes, it managed to give us, to bring out the different side of us. Okay, as the general evaluator for tonight, I am in charge with what is happening or what has been transpiring from the start of the program or even before the start of the program up until the end. And I have my crew or my team with me. And congratulations, Toastmaster Mark Jada. You were so really well-versed in being a Toastmaster of the evening. You have the mastery to do this. You know the ups and downs, you know the left and right, everything. You know how to engage the people, the audience. You know how to, in those challenges, we have a lot of challenges coming from you tonight. Introducing that Menti apps. So that's the first time that I encountered that. So I'm going to use that as well. Teach me how to do that. So that's something good. Everyone was encouraged to participate. Like for the words of the night, words for the night, and the table topics favorite. We have a winner. Later on, you will announce the winner for the one. Oh, I didn't hear anyone use the word of the night. Did anyone use of the word of the night? I didn't hear. Mar, did you take note of that? So I didn't hear that. So congratulations. Just very good. So the guests were welcome upon, signing up. You asked them. They were well welcomed. They were informed about the Toastmasters team. And we started at 7:06, which is pretty much good. Not too late, a little bit late. Well, much better if we started at sharp 7 o'clock, but that doesn't happen, or it didn't happen before. So hopefully in the future meetings, we would be more, how do you call it? Observant with the time, with the starting time of the meeting. And then the President Toastmaster Sedi, he's also well-versed in introducing his fellow Toastmaster, and he introduced Toastmaster Mark very well, citing all his accomplishment, the books, the blogs, and everything. So well done, very good with that. And then Mark also explained the theme of the meeting, the equinox, and even rendered a short fun activity encouraging everyone to participate. You know that Menti thing, the word, what comes to your mind when you hear the word equinox. So very good. Now, I'm going to introduce to you my team, the first evaluator for the table topics. I would like to call on Toastmaster VJ. Sorry. Bern Jules from Baguio Toastmasters to evaluate our table topics for tonight.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Juliet. Focus, boundaries, balance, and change. Those are the important ingredients to find equinox and have a mind that is filled with equanimity. Let me look at our first speaker and focus on what matters by anonymous Toastmaster Renalita. Toastmaster Renalita, you started with explaining the point of focus on what matters and gave your reason about it. And I love that you even provided a specific example o- on what on about focusing. And that is when you did not attend Toastmasters for years in order to focus on your grandchildren, and because of that they were able to grow. You were able to they were I'm sorry, they were able to grow with you, who and 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 after that you can now focus back on Toastmasters, and it really gives us a very solid vision of what makes focusing important. Toastmaster Elenita, one possible suggestion that I could give you is to, after providing your point and reason, and then providing an example, maybe you can go back to your point, so make it a roundabout and make or her speech more coherent. But overall, that was a very wonderful speech. Thank you very much for giving us uh, your story about focusing. Let's all give Toastmaster Renata a warm round of applause. Next is on boundaries, Toastmaster Phoenix. How to say no without be feeling guilty. Toastmaster Phoenix, I really love that you were very sincere and really trying to answer the question, which is a very difficult question, and that is how to say no without feeling guilty. Because it's not only is it difficult to say no, it's even more difficult to say no without feeling guilty. Because even if you say no, it could be that you're just doing giving it giving a half baked answer, but you have to say no because and that is because you are confident that you are not being a bother to the person who is asking you. And I love that you were trying to give a message on communication and giving and the honesty of asking advice from others on how you can say no. And that is important because sometimes we just cannot think of a way to say no, and yet we because we always want to be helpful to others. Toastmaster Phoenix, one suggestion that I can give you is probably to look back on a specific experience on when you had to say no. That way you can have more details on what just one experience on, like for example someone is asking you out, or probably someone asking you for some money, and you happen to have already set a budget for it. How could you have said no on that situation? and maybe in that way we can have a more coherent uh, idea of why it is important to set boundaries. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Phoenix. Let's all give her a warm round of applause. Next is balance. Balance, which is delivered by Toastmaster Mar. Don't confuse having a career with having a life. Toastmaster Mar, it is really inspiring to be given a quote from from Stephen Covey, and it you even provided an example or prayer experience about your, your quote. And indeed, you even asserted that living is different from making a living, and when to say enough and when to say pause for a while. I love those messages from you, and it's really inspiring, and I hope to hear more inspiring messages from you. One possible suggestion that I would give is maybe you can also uh, right, maybe you can provide sample, maybe a prior exam experience that is about balance, or about maybe just what you don't confuse having a career with having a life. That in that way we can be more get more relate get, and it could get more relatable to us. But overall, that was really an inspiring speech, and I hope to hear much more from you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mar. Let's all give him a warm round of applause. And last but not, or not of course not the least, and but also not the last, Toastmaster Rai. Embrace change even when the change slaps you in the face, by Walter Breuning. Yes, change is inevitable, and that is something that we have to assert. And I really love that you shared something personal, and that is an experience with your father, and about him not wanting to have a dialysis, not accepting what that he's sick, and providing a really wonderful story with the setting and an actual uh, lesson. And this three time session is something that I think is really hard to be part of a lifestyle. And the good thing is that you even provided a message, and that is the good thing is that it will take time, but once we do, uh, you provided what we can be gained, what could be gained. I love the pattern that you use: a story and then a message, and again, I think if I think that if uh, you were a really great speaker. I really love your pattern, and I can't think of a good suggestion. But overall, you were an amazing speaker. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Rai. And last but not the least, of course, our table topics master, Toastmaster Sedi. I love the presentation of having four words: focus, balance, boundaries, and change. You also shared the quote twice, and you also provided the time for the table topics. One thing that I could probably suggest for you is to uh, share the quote on the screen for all the speakers. So sometimes I do not see them shared on the screen, or maybe you can also post it in the chat so that the speaker can go back to it during the speech. But overall, that was an amazing way to handle our table topics. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sedi, and let's all give him a warm round of applause. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Vern. Thank you for being an impromptu evaluator because we didn't have one. That was really good. And from my point of view, you delivered your evaluation pretty well. Maybe, you know, Toastmasters' point of view, there's a lot of high standard, but me being a newbie also as here and still learning, still struggling, you know, because I'm not a born speaker, especially impromptu speaking, but hearing that from you, it inspired me. So congratulations. So I agree with everything you said. The table topics master was really good. He introduced the purpose and the timing of the table topics, and the theme was appropriate and selected and fit for the meeting. And he invited our guests to participate, like Phoenix from Singapore. And going to the proper evaluation, just to add with your evaluation to the table topic speaker, I just want to add a suggestion to Phoenix. So I would like to share to you, Phoenix. I myself, again, I'm repeating, I am not good at speaking. But maybe now I improve a little bit from what I was before. I was like you, I'm grasping for words. I always stammer when I speak, especially in impromptu. So we need to do more practice, just do more practice. I'm probably not the right person to tell you the tips because I am not as good as the others, but I think that's one of the best thing to do more practice so that, you know, when we were called upon to do some impromptu speaking, we have to think or pause for a second and then collect our thoughts so that we can deliver it. So practice on that. And then for the evaluation for Mar, just also a suggestion. I agree. I didn't hear some example coming from your own experience. I was waiting for that. You have so many inspiring messages, you have very rich thoughts and phrases. You have read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I've read that before, but I forgot about it. But your attention, your memory retention is so deep. You have a lot in there, but I was waiting to hear something that is coming from your own experience, from what has happened to you, correlating it to all those good messages that you are trying to share to us. For Rai, overall, he's good. He's always good in impromptu speaking. Last time I heard him talking about Tagalog, something he also did well. So I don't think I would suggest anything to Rai. So congratulations. So to all of you, to Tita Lit as well, Toastmaster Lit, as always, one of our champion, she delivered herself. She expressed herself well. She set an example about, having no focus before by not attending the Toastmaster for 4 years because she was looking after her grandchildren, but then later on, she was able to revive, getting the focus to get back to the track. So thank you very much, Toastmaster Lead, for that as always. There you go. So Vern, congratulations again. Thank you for your evaluation, for your impromptu evaluation. Now, We're going to, before we go to the prepared speech evaluator, I just want to give a short evaluation with the Anything Goes session, the one that Ruben presented to us, the TCGC. It was, as always, Ruben, Toastmaster Ruben. I don't know if whether you're a law graduate or a marketing graduate or now a singer. So outstanding, very, very good, very good. You always amaze me every time, every meeting, you have something new for us. And this TCGC is very good. And I encourage the club, the officers of the club to look into this deeper. I think everyone had a positive reaction to this. So congratulations. So in your TCGC Anything Goes session, you were able to introduce the product, which is the online personal gift, which is personalized coaching and is transferable with inherent value of goodwill. And you also detailed the 20 minutes coverage of that coaching, very well organized. You also gave us the benefits for the club, you know, for each and every one of us, the public relation, the membership, potential membership. And then there's also the value, the moral values that I always hear from you, the being compassion for community. So congratulations. And the last one that I really stuck in my mind is the creating a new normal marked by compassion. So I don't know where you get all those thoughts, but really good. Congratulations.
Thank you, Juliet.
Very good, very good. Okay, so now we go to the prepared speaker evaluator. I would like to introduce to you our first evaluator for our first prepared speaker. She's one of our seniors, just seniors in the Meycauayan Toastmasters, but not in age, but not senior in age. So I also look up to her. Well, actually, both of them, I look up to both of them. Being, you know, our mentors here at the club. So I would like to welcome everyone, Toastmaster Marinor.
Yes, good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and good evening, Toastmaster Rose. Well, your speech, Game On, was a challenge for me. And I know that the audience or our fellow Toastmasters here in Meycauayan Toastmasters Club are all challenged by your speech. It was well researched. It was well selected. Well, it is very timely nowadays since I know that most of us are working from home. And you know, it's kind of challenge for mothers like you how to bond with your kids without going out of your house. So it's a good way to bond with your kids by playing video games. And you have tackled it in such a way that it was refreshing, with confidence and very relaxed. You were able to incorporate a serious research paper to your video game activity at home that made me glued to your speech and followed it. Well, you have prepared and shared to us the flow theory and gave us pointers about how we can apply it to our lives, especially in doing an activity, whether it's a game, chores at home, or in business. I like the conclusion as you have invited us to apply it and even engage us to show our game on face. Okay. Well, I have a few pointers for you to, as a recommendation for you to grow on. Well, first, I find, especially on the first part of the speech, that your the pacing or rate, the speech rate was kind of fast. And some of the words were kind of, you tend to eat your words. Okay. So maybe you might want to slow down a bit so that we can understand the words that you were uttering. Well, I'm looking also for, because you have cited some pointers for us on the flow theory that that are all very applicable to us. And I'm looking for some situational examples of examples like how you feel when you were losing on a game, or how or how are you so excited when winning a video game. Okay, so maybe on the examples you might want to incorporate the video game so that it will be interconnected to your game on. And maybe on the first part of the speech, the transition was kind of abrupt from the video game down to the flow theory that you have discussed to us. So all in all, Toastmaster Rose, congratulations. And I'm looking forward to another video game of yours that you will be presenting to us in your next speech project. Well, how about a big round of applause to our Toastmaster Rose Pagia.
Thank you, Toastmaster Marinor, for that thorough evaluation. I just wanted to add, well, congratulations, Rose, Toastmaster Rose. As always, you are always prepared and you have correlated the flow state theory, the three conditions with other activities with our lives. So that's really good. And I specifically note of the takeout. I myself had a takeout from what you said, which is, get a new challenge to grow on, which is Netflix. I will do that. I just don't know if I still have time because, but I want to do that. I will follow your instruction. I will follow your message. Thank you so much for your research project tonight, Toastmasters Rose. Now, so let's go now for the second evaluator, or for the second speaker, our distinguished Toastmaster, the only distinguished Toastmaster here at Meycauayan, and the only, I think, for now, the past international director here in the Philippines. So she's the only one, right? So let's call on Toastmaster DTM Christine Temblique to evaluate Ruben Acevedo II.
Good evening to everyone. Well, Juliet, just to correct, I'm not the only. I was the first I was the first international director, but there are now three of us. Past international director Elisa and past international director Doti Du. So, well, let's proceed to the evaluation of Toastmaster Ruben's speech. Ruben has undertaken the High Performance Leadership Project. And he did this with all the other members of the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. I was really amazed and entertained because he expounded the description of the process of the project in a very engaging and creative manner with all the music. And I think in the future, we might be able to hear more of that talent from Ruben, aside from being a legal person. But the experience that he described was very engaging, and it was very complete with all the lessons learned. He expounded the lessons that he learned in terms of leadership, what he gained from the experience of setting up the BAE project. And in the same manner that he included the motivational description of all the team members, what the team members have done for the project. And that is a very significant character of a leader, of a true leader, because you recognize the persons around you, because without them, you cannot really achieve anything. Okay. Now, the presentation was very engaging and creative with all the music, the playing of the guitar, and the singing of Ruben. I would like Ruben to work on some things with the speech. Although this is not a description of the content of the high performance leadership, I would have expected a holistic, succinct, but brief and complete description of the project that he did with all of you, with the team. Because if there are some people listening, I would not be able to understand what he was talking about. Now, maybe a very, very brief description and the achievement or the success that the project has accomplished. Okay? So, whether it has achieved the goals, and also how he planned to get the team members to proceed with the project itself. So maybe you would like to work on that, so that the presentation, aside from giving us the description of the experience, you can also give us the project itself as part of your speech to be complete. Next, I want to challenge you on speaking and improving the pacing of your speech delivery. You seem to be running after what you're thinking, so that sometimes you speak so fast, I cannot absorb what you are saying anymore. So it will create that effect on the listeners, and you want the listeners to appreciate every word and every concept that you are describing. So try to do that and control yourself, control your pacing. As a whole, I was entertained, very engaging. I was able to get a total description of your project, what you learned from that, the leadership skills that you learned from that. I don't know if it's just, but personally, maybe you could have lessened your musical inclusion to about 2, so that it doesn't intercept with the flow of the concept. I have nothing against your voice or your music. It's just that I find it intercepting with the flow of the concept and the speech. So I am very impressed with what you did, and congratulations, Ruben. I think you have somehow met my expectation of veering away from political speeches. Good evening.
Salamat po.
Thank you, Toastmasters. DTM Christine. Very thorough evaluation for Ben, and I agree with the observation, same observation here. Controlling your pacing, as always, that is what's you always have a lot of things, a lot of ideas in your minds that you're trying to say. That's why you're trying to like run after them. To tell them, to say them, to state them, and you're getting excited. But you brought us something new. You brought the club something new tonight. You know, with prepared speaking. You're integrating the speech with music. So that is something that's first. Music of Eraserheads. Although yes, I agree. There's a little bit a lot. There's 3 music. So I agree with DTM Christine. Although there's nothing wrong with your voice. I like the voice, and you know something about playing the guitar. That's something as well that Toastmaster brought us. So it's not just about bringing the best speaker in us, but the hidden talents that we have. So that's good. And I like the takeout that you gave at the end. Surround yourself with leaders because they are team players. Actually, I was elated with that. Well, not too elated, but I'm not bragging but yes, that is correct. That is true. With leaders, because they are leaders, you know that they will participate for the achievement of the project, for the achievement of the objective, because they are good team players. So I agree with you. So that's all for the evaluators of the prepared speakers for tonight. Let's go now. Are we having a break or we are continuing?
Continue.
Continue. Okay, so we will go now with the technical evaluation for tonight. I would like to call on our first technical evaluator, the language evaluator.
Yes. Thank you.
Let's call on Toastmaster Mar.
Yes. Thank you. Well, if tonight is a gauge and will become typical night in our bi-weekly meeting where everybody, speakers, the Toastmaster and the evaluators were able to proceed smoothly without committing a single error. And that's amazing. I have a sentiment that that time will come when we no longer have mistakes or this either nil or negligible. And I hope that that time will come soon, such that the issue will no longer be on language, but already on our presentation and the impact to the audience. Except for some contractions, because we have a tendency to be less formal. But that's all right if that is being comfortable with us. I just noticed that if these are any comments, this use of contractions such as that's a good feedback. It's really, it's my project. Here's the key. But generally, those are the only things I can say about language tonight. And well done. And of course, maybe the time when we become seasoned speaker will come sooner than we think. Thank you. And I turn over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for being the grammarian for tonight. I didn't hear anyone, as I said, I didn't hear anyone using the word of the night, the two words for tonight, which is the equanimity and Didel.
Yes.
But
There's one, Mark Grada, our very own Mark Grada, used the word equanimity one.
Okay, okay.
I
So,
heard the word equanimity. Ruben said that.
Also Ruben, it's just that he is so fast.
Okay, so we probably have problems with connection, but okay, just a suggestion, Toastmaster Mark. Like if we have guests, for tonight, you should have introduced or you should have explained your role as a grammarian. And yes, so it would help them understand the role, your role for tonight, being the language evaluator.
Yes.
And then taking note of those people who have used the word for the night, because yes, you did introduce the word of the night properly before the start of the meeting, but I think you failed to note the ones who use them, and you are supposed to get the germs and the gems from all the speakers. So we didn't hear much of those, but I heard a lot. I myself heard a lot of gems coming from all the speakers, from table topics to prepared speakers. So next time, just take note of them.
Okay.
Now, let's go to the counter evaluator, our Vice President for Education, who's been doing a lot to prepare the programs, to get roles for the meetings, the team. Thank you so much for that, VP Education. I would like to give you the floor now. Toastmaster Rai De Jesus.
Thank you, Toastmaster Juliet. And for the benefit of our guests, good evening. The purpose of a counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I also listen for filler words, including and And I also monitor the long pauses, just like what I did today. And for you to be able to check, all right, I'll be sharing my screen. Okay, here's my screen. So here is the breakdown of the filler words that we use for tonight. For Toastmaster Steady, 1 For Toastmaster Lit, 1 long pause. For the Toastmaster of the evening, 1 and 1 so. For Toastmaster Mar, 3 And I myself monitored when I was delivering my speech on the table topics. I think I uttered us and 2 repetitive words. And Toastmaster Rose, 1 repetitive word. Toastmaster Ruben, I was mesmerized with his singing, so I forgot to. I missed the. I miss it. There is filler words that he used. And for Toastmaster Juliet, 1 long pause. For Toastmaster VJ, he delivers 2 and 2 repetitive words. For Toastmaster Marinor, flawless, and Toastmaster for those distinguished Toastmaster Christine Temblique, 2 repetitive word and 1 long pause and 1 okay. For our future speakers, I suggest whenever we are about to utter repetitive words or filler words, what we need to do is to pause and gather our thoughts for us to be able to deliver more fluid speeches in the future. I now return the control to the General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Rai. Very thorough, as always, like what you're doing with our program and team, doing it thoroughly. So congratulations and thank you very much for that. Now, we are just on time. We are on time, I think. I would like to introduce to you our time manager for the evening, Toastmaster Arthur Martin.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Timing is an important aspect of the Toastmasters program. Speeches, evaluations, table topic speeches, and other roles are all time. The short time allotted allows us to focus on the important message we want to convey in our speeches and our evaluations. Here are the timing results for tonight. In the educational session, there was a allotted time of 12 to 15 minutes. Toastmaster Ruben did it within in time of 14 minutes and 5 seconds. In the table topics portion, President Seti Cortez did it within the allotted time of 8 to 10 minutes with a time of 6 minutes. Our table topic speakers tonight, Toastmaster Renelita, was within time with a time of 1 minute 50. Toastmaster Phoenix with a time of 2 minutes 25 within time, and Toastmaster Mario Librarian with a time of 2 minutes and 19, and Toastmaster Rai DeSous with a time of 2 minutes and 23 seconds. During the outright evaluations, our TM Vern, for our first evaluation of TM Renelita, a time of 1 minute 37. For Toastmaster Phoenix, a time of 2 minutes 10. Toastmaster Mario, a time of 1 minute 50. And Toastmaster Ree, a time of 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Okay, in the prepared speeches, Toastmaster Area Director Rose, a time of 8 minutes 54. And Toastmaster Ruben with a time of 9 minutes and 24 seconds. With the prepared speech evaluations, Toastmaster Marinor with a time of 3 minutes 30 seconds, and Toastmaster Christine DTM Christine Tembuckley, past International Director, with a time of 4 minutes 30. Our counter tonight with a time of 2 minutes 40, with a lot of time of 1 to 2. And our grammarian for today, within time with a time of 2 minutes and 22 seconds at the start, and within time also with a time of 1 minute 32 seconds at the end. Let us all give the people that spoke tonight a round of applause for a job well done. Ladies and gentlemen, let us be mindful of our time, because as the saying goes, if you speak under time, you've wasted your time, and if you go over time, you've wasted somebody else's time. So let's try to make it a habit of speaking within time. I now return the control of our proceedings to our General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Arthur. Very much agree. Very much agree. We use the time. If we speak under time, we waste our time. And if we speak over time, we waste other people's time. Very much agree. Now, that is all about the evaluation. This is my second time being a general evaluator. Still, I'm learning. So forgive my shortcomings, everyone. But I want to impart something. Good thing our counter is finished. I'm having a lot of us now. Okay, so congratulations, Toastmasters. Congratulations, everyone. The evaluation team, good job. And the Toastmaster of the evening, good job as well. As always, keep up the good work being the Toastmaster of the evening. And this is my as you know, I've heard this, no, in relation with the equinox, the moon and the sun. You know, if you see the moon, you see the beauty of God. If you see the sun, you see the power of God. If you see the mirror, you see the best creation of God. So believe in ourselves. That's for Phoenix as well. So back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Wow, great. Thank you very much for that, General Evaluator, Juliet. And now, I noticed something about Toastmaster Juliet. Direct, can you please spotlight on Juliet's video? Oh, look. I see the pearls, the earrings, and the necklace. You were so well prepared. And of course, I always like how Toastmaster Juliet is speaking. She said earlier that she was a born speaker, but it's for me, it's not true because yes, you can speak with confidence. Yes, there because in life there is nature and nurture. You are a natural speaker, for example, but you have to nurture it to develop it through Toastmasters. There's talent, there's skills. Talent is different from skills. So we have to learn, we have to nurture our talents, we have to develop our skills and get on the right track. So let's be on a game on position. So Toastmaster Juliet as Jan Evaluator, she is an equalizer. So and I agree with what she has evaluated earlier. And thank you for that knowledge. Thank you for the wisdom you have imparted us on this meeting, Toastmaster Juliet. And now let's hear from our guests for tonight. May we hear from Raimi Banzuelo? Is Raimi a Toastmaster from other club or are you a non-Toastmaster who wants to explore your skills through Toastmasters? Yes, Rainy?
Hi, it's Remy.
Remy.
Good evening to all of you. Yeah, actually, I've been with Toastmasters Meycauayan year 2000, early 2000. So I was a member, but I think I attended only a few years. So now that the difficulty during that time is the distance because I'm now living in Valenzuela. So during that time, I'm living in Meycauayan. But during lockdown, I've been thinking of enhancing my skills again, or my ability to speak. I lost track, or um, I see my difficulty in speaking. So I think I was assessing and evaluating myself that I need to upgrade myself. So I thought about Meycauayan and Toastmasters. But I also attended the Toastmaster of Kamanaba. So I've been thinking if where will I join to be a member again. It's easier to attend since it's online. No need to travel. So I'm glad to be with you all and thank you for welcoming me.
All right. Remy, welcome back to Meycauayan Toastmasters. I think this is your home. And unfortunately, we haven't met. I've started my Toastmasters journey in 2012. So obviously, you've never known me. You've never known me. And welcome back. And you are always welcome on this club. Now, can
Thank
we hear
you.
from, you're welcome. Can we hear from Phoenix of Moneymaker? Is that Moneymaker of Toastmasters Club of Singapore?
Yes, thanks
All
for
right.
having me here. And it was great to learn the tips from our journal evaluator and also VJ. I'm here to, if you guys are willing to check my club out, I sent the Facebook page to Rose. I'll be sending it again in the chat. I'm advising you guys to prepare a computer. My club does not use Zoom for their meetings.
All right. So last but not the least, our guest from Bataan Toastmasters Club, President Arthur.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mark. Thank you for the invite from Area Director Rose. It was a pleasure joining and meeting you all. I really love I found your club to be very high tech from all our speeches, like our speakers and yourself as well with the Menti polls. They work really well. sometimes I found with when we've tried to utilize those things that it slows the process down, but it went really smoothly. I was really impressed with how things ran. Also, I really enjoyed TM Rubens' educational speech. It was very, very enlightening. A lot of takeaways there that we will look to apply also in the Bataan Toastmasters Club. Also, we have our club meetings every first and third Tuesdays of the month. I think it alternates from yours. So if any of you are free, please feel free to join us. If you're interested, just have a look on the Bataan Toastmasters page on our Facebook page for the meeting details. Thank you. Nice meeting you all.
You're welcome, Toastmaster Arthur Martin. So yes, we'll be joining you on your meetings. Bataan Toastmasters Club, Manny Mastery Singapore Toastmasters Club, and of course, Remy Benzuelo may attend with us. We may do club hopping, and you are all welcome to our club hoppings, yes. Now, as we conclude this meeting, I'm in high spirit because we've learned something new, we've fellowship with one another, and we learn a lot from each and every one of us in this virtual hall. And just plugging, on this week I'll be posting my podcast, and on next week my vlog version with my interview with Armel, with past area director Armel. It will be a two-part interview on Mike on Wheels PH YouTube channel. So I would like to invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So it's on the chat box right now. Mark on Wheels PH. So you may watch my interview with Armel on December 28 and October 5, I guess. So that's all for tonight, and see you for another Toastmasters meeting on October 13. Right? Is that October 13? Yes, October 13. And okay, from Toastmaster Arthur, good night all, and thanks for having me as your timer tonight. And let's view the chats. All right, you may view the chats there. And I am Mark Andrada, your Toastmaster of the evening. And this is Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. Back to you, President Sedi.
All right. Congratulations, Toastmaster Mark, for gracing the tonight's meeting. And thank you once again to our guests, TM Remy, President Arthur, TM Phoenix, and Toastmaster VJ, who lived earlier. And before I end this meeting, Toastmaster Rai, you will be sharing our next meeting.
TP Rai, please unmute yourself.
You're speechless.
Can I have a few minutes, Toastmasters Eddie? Just a few minutes before we.
Yes.
Okay. First and foremost, fellow Toastmaster, as your Vice President for Education, I would like to suggest some things for us to improve our experience in our club meetings. First, it is our task as the prepared speaker to forward the evaluation sheet to our evaluators. And as evaluators, it is our task to forward the filled up evaluation sheet to the prepared speakers. So that's number one. Number two, we will be practicing using Bay for our next meeting. And next, for members, I would like to encourage everyone to please, you can also suggest themes for our future meetings. So if you want to discuss a topic or an experience that you want to share with our members that we can discuss in our club meetings, please feel free to message me the theme that you want us to discuss in our future meetings. Then for role takers, I suggest whenever you will be given a role, please check the Toastmaster website. You can check the script and they have forms there that we can use for us to maximize our roles in the future. And I'm thinking, this is just suggestion. Perhaps you can contemplate it in our group chat. I'm thinking of for our future meeting, I will be forwarding an ebook or an audiobook for us to discuss in our for our next team. I will be forwarding a book or audiobook because some of our members are working and very busy. Perhaps they can listen to the audiobook while driving all the way from Bulacan to Pampanga. So I'm thinking of us for our future meeting to be using a book or audiobook. So that's thank you for the time to President Sedi. I now return the control to our president. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you, fellow Toastmaster. I'm sorry.
Before I end, I will share something that we should be really proud of. I am glad to share that we are now having 4 points in our DCP goals. And thank you very much to those who contributed. Toastmaster Christine, Toastmaster Ruben, Toastmaster GV, and Toastmaster Rose. And we are just one step away to get the 5 points, which is the distinguished club. I know that is very hard for now because we are experiencing pandemic, but I believe one step at a time, and we just need to help each other for us to get the goals that we really deserve. Thank you. And now, by the power vested in me by Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, I call this meeting adjourned.
Good night, everyone.
Picture.
Picture.
One more picture.
Sure.